back to my channel for repeated viewers, and for anyone that's coming for the first time, I welcome you. This video is a video about Moses' journeys into the desert land and into where he met the Midianite people, and it's also about the second journey into the same area on the way to the promised land. From this video, we will notice three things. The land of Midian is described in the Bible as desert. There's a mountain by the name of Horeb. And in the first trip that Moses, when Moses first fled Egypt to go into the desert land, it didn't tell us that Moses crossed a sea or any sea. However, I'm submitting to you that in order for Moses to get into the desert land, he would have to cross the Nile River. And the second trip into the same area, God led Moses through the land, through the route that he wanted them to go, and that was through the Red Sea route. Now, let's take a closer look. Josephus tells us that Moses went up to a mountain that lay between Egypt and Arabia, which was called Sinai. And it's very plain. We can all see here. This is the area that Josephus is referencing. What I want to bring to your attention is there's a fork. The Red Sea has a fork right here. And this could be the only area that Josephus is speaking to or speaking about. A sea is usually deep and more dangerous to cross. That's one thing we want, versus a river. Now, the river right here is the Nile River. And remember what I said in the previous slide, where I said in order for Moses to get to any desert land here, if he's going to go towards the land of Midian, he would have to cross the Nile River. Any other desert land outside of that, which is also noted on the first slide, the other desert area, there's no big issues getting there, but that wasn't the direction Moses went. Moses went eastward. So with that being said, now this is where the ancient Egyptians and the kings and the pharaohs lived. Moses was a prince of Egypt, so Moses most likely would have dwelled somewhere around here. Over here is where they have the land of Goshen. And Moses would have had to go this route the first time around when he fled and go into the area this way. And the reason I say that is we know Moses did not cross the Red Sea the first time around. The Bible didn't tell us Moses crossed that Red Sea. And if he crossed the Red Sea, how would he have done it on his own? Like what's the transportation method he would have used? If he walked, he can't walk across the sea, can't ride a horse across the sea, can't ride a camel across the sea, nor could he ride a donkey across the sea. The only way of getting across that sea would have been with a boat. Moses didn't have a boat. So that's one thing I want to highlight. Let me move to the next slide. Just gives a different picture of the area, and it's sort of like just looking at the journey that he made, similar to what I mentioned above. I'm bringing this one in to just show, because now it's got Israel more focused here. And this is land to land. That's the border right there. And for Jordan, land to land with Israel border. Easy to walk between these two. But again, keep in mind, the Bible didn't tell us that Moses touched the Holy Land. Feet never touched it. How would Moses get down here? in some maps that I see, they have Midian somewhere down here. The only way he could have gotten here is this way or this way or this way. Still would have to cross that Red Sea. How would Moses cross that Red Sea? Think about that one. He did not. Let's move on. Same, you just have to just bring these maps up. This again is, this is also, this is the desert. This is the part that touches Israel. This is the part that touches Israel. At the end of the Moses journey, it told us that the second time around when he went into the land, he stopped, he met Jethro, and they had a discussion. Jethro gave him some advice. Moses, at the end of his life, stood in where he was at, because he wasn't allowed to go in. He ended up looking into the promised land. He could look into the promised land from any part here, because it's land to land. Down in Saudi Arabia, it would be a little bit more difficult, because he'd have to look across the sea, and he'd have to look across Jordan. So you get where I'm coming from. It's not adding up. Last slide on the map showing the region. It says here, this is where Goshen is, and it says in the land of Goshen. When you hear the term like that, you would assume or think the land of Goshen is probably outside of Egypt, but no, it's not. It's right there attached. It's in Egypt. Goshen is in Egypt. Right here is the desert land. This is the Red Sea. This is the Nile River. So let's look at this now. Same thing over here. Again, this has Israel there. This is Israel. This is where Moses was coming from. Not possible, right? The land of Midian most likely would have been somewhere around here. On some part, I don't know where here, but somewhere on this part of land, as opposed to down here. And the land of Midian may very well be there, only because of how it's referenced, we would think it's outside of Egypt, when in fact it may very well be inside of Egypt. I just wanted to bring that out to everyone. Final slide. In the book of Deuteronomy, events are described as having transpired at Mount Horeb. Sinai and Horeb are generally considered by scholars to refer to the same place. There are mountain ranges in Egypt. One is called the Red Sea Hills Range. The Red Sea Hills Range runs along the eastern coast of Egypt, where it borders the Red Sea that gives the range its name. Another mountain range in Egypt is the Sinai High Mountains, located on the Sinai Peninsula. I am suggesting that Moses never left the continent of Africa when he went out to the desert land and he stumbled upon the Midianite people. I thank you for watching.